Viltrox 27mm f1.2 versus Voigtlander 27mm f2. What are my opinions and what lens would I get if I would get one between these two lenses? Let's talk about this now. Hi there and welcome to my channel. My name is Tudor Matescu and I like to talk about photography tips, tricks and all things related. So if you're in content like this, please subscribe to my channel, give it a like, this helps me a lot. Now let's talk about Viltrox 27mm f1.2 versus Voigtlander 27mm f2. What lens I would get between these two lenses? We look at the specifics of these two lenses, we look at size, ergonomics and what they will offer us in the end, and what would I choose from the perspective of a passionate photographer, so for hobby photography, but what I would choose from the perspective of a working photographer. So let's get into the subject. I'm using these lenses just for reference. We will imagine that I have here Viltrox 27mm f1.2, a big chunky lens, and here the small pancake Ultron Voigtlander 27mm f2. I want to address the price. Both lenses have almost the same price. So in the end we must put in balance size, weight, ergonomics, AF and optics. So let's talk about size. So regarding size, of course, Voigtlander Ultron is winning it by far. It is smaller, it is lighter and has a focusing tab. Viltrox 27mm f1.2, it is big, chunky and cumbersome. Both lenses cover the same field of view, and the biggest difference is the aperture and the AF. So we have here an f2 aperture that on APS-C sensor it's not something to brag about, but Voigtlander, it's rendering extraordinary fine. I'm really liking how it's rendering the background and how the subject is separated. I feel that Voigtlander was able to bring a truly Voigtlander lens with a truly Voigtlander signature, bypassing the disadvantages of an APS-C sensor. So this is very important. I really like how Voigtlander is rendering subject to background separation, and the minimum focus distance, again, it's great for the Voigtlander lens, and you have a pancake lens with a focus tab. That's not so great, but it's doing the job. But we have there a problem, and I will address that problem in a minute, because with Fujifilm and Fujifilm lenses are party manufacturer lenses, there's always a but. Now let's get to the big but, the Viltrox. So Viltrox 27mm f1.2 is big, chunky, with an aperture ring with clicks, but you don't hear the clicks how the reviewers showed, and again, this is not the problem. It has AF, the AF of course it will work like on a Fujifilm lens, and it's big and chunky. And what you get in the end? You get a wide lens, a lens that will help you separate in a wide angle of view the subject from the background more than an f2 lens is doing. Now comes the question, which lens I would choose, and I would think about this in two different ways. The first way is the way of the passionate photographer, the hobbyist. I would like to invite you to subscribe to my newsletter for someone who is passionate about photography. There you will receive tips and tricks and POVs and lots of information about photography if you are passionate and if you want to learn more about my photography from me. For hobby, I would always choose the small pancake lens. Viltrox 27mm f1.2, it is too big for a hobbyist. It is too big, it's unbelievable big. It's out of this world for a hobbyist. Again, if you have time and if you want to carry such a big lens with you to take some street portraits, I don't know, why wouldn't you use the 35mm f1.4 or 23mm f1.4 from Fujifilm, the new lenses? So we have better lenses. For me, as a passionate photographer, I don't see the role of the Viltrox 27mm f1.2. It can be a fun lens, I don't say that. I like the f1.2 aperture, I like the field of view, I'm a big fan of the 40mm equivalent field of view, but the lens, it's a no-go. I would buy it and I would use it for some time, and this is it. It will stay on my shelf. So I would choose Voigtlander. Now regarding Voigtlander versus Fujifilm f2.8 lens, I would own both lenses. Yes, would own both lenses because Voigtlander has an f2 aperture and it's a pancake lens, a manual focusing lens, so a totally different experience, and this is an AF lens. Now, the problem with Voigtlander as a passionate photographer that wants to do this for a hobby is that you don't have marks from 5 meters to infinity. So you have marks just for 3 meters to infinity. And this is a big problem for zone focusing. It's not okay. It's not okay. So the Voigtlander lens could have been a perfect lens for street photography, being so pancake and with that amazing rendering and with the f2 aperture and with the focus tab. It's great, but where is the 5 meters on the scale? You don't have it. You don't have 5 meters to infinity, and this is a no-go, a totally no-go. I can't imagine how Voigtlander was able to take a lens, make this lens such a beautiful lens with all these features on it, small, pancake-ish, beautiful, with beautiful glass, with beautiful rendering, and not put a 5 meters mark and optimize the lens for manual focusing, because this is the idea. So again, if you are a hobbyist and if you don't want to try manual focusing, then I think the Fujifilm Pancake 27mm f2.8 is the best choice in this moment, followed by the TT Artisan 27mm f2.8. By the way, in comments and description I have a link with my books that I really love and recommend to read and to get if you want to learn more about photography. Check the links in the comments and description. Very useful and recommended books I have there. Now let's get to the professional part. For professional use, would I choose Viltrox 27mm f1.2 if I'm a professional that shoots just with Fujifilm, and because I don't have another field of view and because I'm loving this field of view? Yes, I would choose it. I would for sure choose it. For a professional that really knows what he wants from this field of view, that it's a mixed field of view for professional work, if you are asking me, I would choose it. But for my style of shooting, I would use Fujifilm 20mm f1.4 followed by Fujifilm 30mm f1.4. So the 40mm it's in between. For what kind of professional shooting would you use such a lens? I feel that such a lens is not suited for event photography. There you want a wide lens and a tele lens, and the 40mm is not sufficient wide for event photography if you don't want to change lenses after lenses after lenses. But if you have time to change lenses, and if you are 2 guys or 3 people team and even more, and you want different looks, yes, you can use it. I feel that the Viltrox, it is suited more for some documentary pro work and for some video work. In conclusion, I'm not a big fan of that Viltrox release. I'm really liking Viltrox. I praise their lenses very much on this channel. I'm liking the lenses that they put out for the Sony system, for the full frame system. Great lenses with that Viltrox signature, and for a full frame I can excuse them regarding the size. But regarding the size, even if they put the pro mark on the lens, for me it's a no-go. It's a no-go. It's hard for me to justify as a professional or even as a hobbyist why I would buy this lens. Just for that f1.2 background to subject separation, I can always go to a full frame to get better background separation. I can use the Fujifilm lenses. I can use the 35mm f1.4. I can use the 20mm f1.4. Fujifilm with Fujifilm always works better. So this is a big problem for me to justify getting Viltrox. But if I would want a 27mm with a bright aperture, even if I would use it for professional work, I would go for Voigtlander. For sure, I would go for Voigtlander. And by the way, if you are a working photographer, I have a special toolkit with 5 essential tools that I use in my business to grow my photography business. And I think any photographer, working photographer that wants to earn money from this passion should know about these tools. Please check this link, and also you have a link in the comments and description. It's manual focusing, so what? I can film with the lens, I can take pictures with the lens, it's optimized for manual focusing, and it's small, and I can throw it in the back and it will not be a cumbersome lens, because I would be able to have the 20mm f1.4 lens with me with Voigtlander 27mm f2. So it's a more logical choice for me at this moment, but of course your opinion can differ, and if you have other opinions, please let them in the comments and subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching, and please be sure to check now the next video. Click here.